So let's get started, everyone, and thanks to join us on this session. So I'm Mathieu, and I'm the CEO of NetAPI, and we are hosting today. So Alexandre from Blobr. Hi, Alex.
Hi Mathieu, nice to be with you and have a cool automation monetized.
Great. Maybe you can have few words on Blobr to start.
Yeah, happy to share a bit more. At Blobr, we are a team of 12, quickly moving to 23 in the next 3 months. And basically, what we do is that we help companies who have APIs or automations in this case to create their developer portal so that they can expose and make money from their APIs. So yeah, based in Paris, a few streets close to you at Meta API, but still we do it in remote places.
Great, thanks. And today we will explore a way on creating a spell and creating an automation inside Meta API, and then go to Blobr and start to monetize it to earn money on some automation you can create on Meta API, and then earn money with Blobr. That seem a good a very nice program to have. So just to begin, so we will start with the Meta API parts. So and to give you a quick overview of all the platform and all the solution, and then we will move to Alex screen, which will show you Blobr and all the configuration, and we will do the configuration online with you guys, like it's time the first time we create a spell and then monetize it. So you will see a step-by-step presentation. Okay, so we will have two streams. So we will have my screen and also Alex screen when it goes to this part. So I will always announce which screen you should have to look, because we'll go some back and forth between these two screens. So first, it's on my screen. So just to give you a quick look of Meta API and what we are doing. So for anyone who don't know you, we are an automation platform based on API. So the API is the main source for all your automation, and then inside this API and inside our spell, you can put some code, some JavaScript and TypeScript code to make the glue between all the API and create all the automation you want. So we give a lot of freedom in which API you want to create. So you can use our public API, or you can import your own private API. So we don't have any limitation on this. And then you will be able to create your spell. I will show you. So I have prepared one for this presentation. So and this one, and inside this spell, you will see um, you will have a creation part, and then you will have a reporting and versioning part when we will want to publish your spell and see if everything goes fine. So I will edit it to give you a quick look of a spell. So a spell, so the editor looks like this. So you have on the left all the connectors you will use inside your spell. For this one, I have created a spell to be a restaurant advisor. So we want to grab some result from both Yelp and Google Maps from a starting point, an address. So we will retrieve the results, mix it with a custom code, and then push back all the results as a response for you. So I have here on the left our three connectors. So one for Yelp and two for Google Maps. That's special because Google Maps, if you want to search a place inside the Google Maps API, you have to give to this API a geo position a geoposition, so both latitude and longitude, to retrieve this way because for us as an input we just have an address, so we use another endpoint from Google Maps where we will convert the address to a geolocation point. So let me just quickly explain all the code. So first I will start with an address. So the address is on our payload. So that's an address in Paris. Then I will call right here our Yelp connector. It's this one where I said I want some restaurants around this address. So this part is linked directly to here our parameters. And I say you can configure the radius where you will looking for some your search. You can limit the number of results, etc. So that's all the parameters exposed by the API. And then we will I have some a piece of code right here to standardize the data I grab from Yelp to have like a standardization of data coming from Yelp, and I will do the same with Google Maps, and that will be easier to compare them next. So right there, I have all the restaurant from Yelp. So first, I will use this endpoint. So all these codes are generated automatically from the connector because if I delete it, you will see it's generated from the connector to say, hey, you have to put this to manipulate this connector. Um, so I will convert first. I will convert an address to a geolocation point. I will extract latitude and longitude from this point, format it, and then use it inside the Meta API endpoint, with my geolocation point. As Yape, I will format all the data. And then I have here a piece of code written in JavaScript to compare all the restaurants and then to combine all the data. And for example, if we have the same restaurant in both Yelp and Google Maps, I will merge and create for example, for the review, I will take the average of the review and combine them. So let's run it and see what we have. So inside this location, so here, as you can see, we have some result. So many restaurants with a different level of price, rating, number of review. That's perfect. And we can see for this one, for example, I have a special property here called it's combined when when this restaurant has been found both in Yelp and Google Maps. So we know right here that rating and review has been combined from both of this source. And that's it. So as you can see, that's a very short one. And of course you can, and that's the spell we want to monetize. So the first thing to do, because we will move to your part, Alex. Right now, I have this spell inside Meta API, and I want to expose it, to the world to make it accessible for you. So I will publish it. So when you publish your spell, you will expose it with a public URL, and then we will create a dedicated API key to access this automation, because for each automation inside Meta API, the automation itself is an API. So that's our name. We are creating APIs of APIs. Let's publish it. Perfect. I will go back to the detail. So I see right here that all the metrics are now enabled. So we will wait some logs right here. So we can, of course, see all the logs, and we will see later, we will see all the requests coming from, the web inside Meta API. And I will go to the version, and I see right here I have my unique URL generated for this spell. And so right now my spell is exposed. It can be consumed all over the web. So Alex, it's your turn to show us how Blobr works.
Okay, super cool. Yeah, I think it's a cool use case because what you are showing is, yeah, definitely how you can mix the data from Google and Google Maps and Yelp so that we have only one average rating for restaurants.
Mm,
So, and basically what I've done is here, if you see my screen, is to create a developer portal where I've created like different products which are related to whether you want to find the best gym centers, the best restaurants around, the best hotels, and definitely this is product is this portal sorry is definitely a way to expose your different products which are related to geolocation, and the product that we are going to create right now and implement in Blobr is going to help access those this information. And how you can do it with Blobr, and it's quite easy, is actually to create this developer portal. You have like a dashboard that is a way for you to create those products that are going to be exposed on your portal. And if you want to create a product, first you need to add an API source. It's where I need actually your help, Mathieu, because we are going to add an API source now. And once we have added an API source, we'll create a product from there,
mm.
which is related to the specific use case that we are discussing.
Okay,
So,
great.
so yeah, so I can start and show the process where I'm going to add a product. So let's call it mixed rating from Google and Yelp. Maybe we should call it average rating, right?
Yes, that's right. That's correct. Perfect.
Average rating. Okay. I'm going to create a version number for this automation that I'm going to integrate to Blobr. So here we come to the second step.
Mm,
Either that you, with Blobr, you can add an API with OpenAPI spec, or then, as we are going to do, to add the URL and show through an example how the integration is looking like.
mm,
So Blobr can understand the structure to then create a product. So I go to
Perfect.
the second step, which is base path URL. And
Yes.
now definitely I need the information that you were showing.
Yes, so I'm switching back to Meta API. So I'm going inside my spell into the versioning tab. Right here, I can see my dev URL and production URL. So you definitely want the production one. So I will
Mhm.
take the URL and paste it directly inside the chat. Here we go.
Okay. So I'm going to paste the URL. Maybe I'm going to remove the part because it's the URL which is related more to
Mm,
the endpoint, or thing that we are going to use as an endpoint, right?
yes.
So maybe I can copy paste it here, so I have it still there. Um, so I'm going back to the base path URL. I click on continue, and then I need to select the authentication to connect the authentication from Blobr to Meta
Mm,
API. And I guess it's an API key, right? So
yes.
I should
So
write API.
yes, exactly. So to trigger your spell, you have to add an API key. So you can add it directly to the URL or to the header directly. So the header is API key. And so inside Meta API, so go back to my screen. I will go on the Meta API key part, and it's where you can create different API keys. So it's a good practice for security to to divide your API key for your usage, because this way, if one of an API key leaks because of security leaks or whatever, you can disable this key only and not the other one. So I will create a new one. So I will call it Blobr demo, and I say I only want this key to be enabled inside this spell. So I save it. I will copy it, and I will give you directly in, so in private. So I can directly paste it inside the.
Where we share our screens.
So
Okay.
if you know that you don't don't do this, please. Uh, that's a professional move. So never share your API key, of course. So we will disable it just after this demo.
Sure. So I copy paste here the API key. The API key is definitely in the header.
Mm,
Um, Once I've done that, I can configure the endpoint. And finally, the endpoint is the part I've removed from the URL that you shared with me.
mhm,
So I've stored that part here. So I just need to copy paste that part, right? Um, Here. I can add it. And then I have two different options actually for the response.
mm,
Either I can add manually different elements to explain to Blobr how the API JSON, the response JSON is structured, or maybe even nicer to show is maybe if you can share with me a table of the content
mm.
copy pasting, so I can generate directly from JSON automatically this endpoint in Blobr.
Yes, great. Because you will see having the schema inside Blobr that will help you for some next cool feature you have inside Blobr. So I will go back
Yeah,
to my spell. I will go back to the console. I have some previous result. I will take one with including the is combined parameter. Perfect. And I will paste it for you inside the chat.
really cool. Okay, so basically I'm going to generate the response, right,
Yes,
from the
that's
game.
right.
Um, Copy paste it here, and then from there automatically I generate the um, uh, the spec actually from
Mm,
uh, the spell that you have shared with me, and from the result of making a call actually from the spell. And once I've done that, actually I have the basic thing that I want to monetize. Maybe there is something. I think you had a query parameter or header parameter which was related to the address, right?
yes, it's related to the address and it's a query parameter named
Okay.
address.
Okay. So super easy. And I can even make it required
Mm, that's
specifically
right.
for this one.
Because I didn't manage inside my automation. If you didn't pass an address, I don't know what's going on. So you you definitely have to 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 add an address.
Okay, cool. So it adds a bit of security as well
Mm,
on this
perfect.
part. Cool. So once I've done that, actually I have a summary of the product I've just created, the API, sorry, I've just created. So basically, if I just summarize again, we have created a spell on Meta API, which is the mix of two different APIs to have the average rating. Now I'm connecting the API to Blobr so
Mhm.
that Blobr can have access to the API and we can make the link between Meta API and Blobr. And once I've done it, actually, so I can add the API source, we have this new API added. So quite a long, I've put a lot of things on that. Uh, we can now, which is the second step, is to create a product. And when we create a product, is actually that you want to describe a use case and implement a specific usage of this API source, so of this spell. So the next step is definitely to go on the product section. And in the product section, I have already the three products that I have displayed on my portal. But then now I can add a new product. And when I add a new product, I can call it restaurant rating. Um, and I can call it mixed info from Google and Yelp. Up. And then I can connect it to the API source I have created.
Great.
Place this one. So that's I'm creating a use case or product use case related to these API sources I've created.
Mm,
So I click on continue, and here I can add a cover image for this specific product. So I have a specific image that I've already installed. I can add for this product.
great.
So I can already see my card updated. And then I can add a tagline, which is find the closest restaurant around you with a mixed rating from Google and Yelp.
So
So basically,
all the products you are creating right now will go to a public interface where everyone can go inside, see the different product to consume. So Meta API automation, and they will see all the information you put right now, right?
yeah,
Okay,
definitely. So
okay.
we have like a public product. So I'm creating
Mm.
now a public product, but you can as well create private products, and
Ah,
the
great.
private product can be accessed only by invitation that you would send to someone where they would be able to subscribe to a product.
Oh, okay. So
But
if you are running, for example, a business and you want to have a partnership with, another company, and you say, okay, only you can access to the API because we have a special partnership, you can use Blobr to do it and to monetize it.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
because definitely you're right. It could be that with more like public access to your API, you decide about rate limiting, which is kind of standard, right, for everyone.
Hmm.
But if you have specific partnerships, you can describe that you can offer even more access to the API or even more specific data because you have a trust relationship with
Mm,
your partner. So it can really help you to create different flavors of access about how you are going to expose your API products.
great.
And then you can add as well a small description. I've started to write a small text I think would be nice to add. So I prepared a bit in advance, right? So I can add a text, but actually it's more like a Notion style where you can create a lot of different things
Oh,
working
great.
like image, codes, and a lot of things that we are constantly adding as well to help you give more documentation to your API products. And then I can add the pictures. So again, this one I can add a new picture. Um, and maybe I can add another one, which is this picture. So it gives a bit more flavor about
Mm.
how you share your files, and people can see what could be inside. You can even add a YouTube video. I've not done it for this one. Um, and then you click on continue. And this is the part which is really cool
Mm.
because you can select the endpoint that you want to share. And decide for this endpoint, either I'm going to give it raw, it means that everything that is inside, I'm going to pass it, or you can have a filter option where you can say that I'm going to share only the name, the rating, the reviews, and the price, but not specifically the URL. And maybe just the map's ID, but not the latitude or longitude. So
That's
you can really customize the content
mm,
that you want to share with your partners or customers.
and I think that feature is awesome because you can create different product with more content for example, the more premium product you will put inside your your marketplace or inside your product, and then you can have like cheaper product with less information. And I see we can also create some restriction on query parameters. So we can imagine some cool stuff like, for example, you have um, one hidden query parameter inside your spell to enable, for example, more than Yelp and Google Maps. Like if you want to connect the fork or another website, and you say, okay, if you want more information, you have, for example, to fill a restricted query parameters. So you have one base product with some data and some API, and then you can have a much more premium product with more data. And I think it's really cool.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely what you can do to, as you said, restrict more or less with the partners, and it gives you like more capabilities to package actually
Mm,
and monetize your API. So yeah, we can go with this setup. We have filtered out few elements, and then I can select my pricing model. So I can price in US or in euro. Let's keep it in US for this one. And then I have different flavors of business model that I can pick up. So either the free model, but for this one it would be better, right, to have a different pricing. So for this one I can use let's say that I'm going to offer this for 19 euros per $19 per month, and then I can describe the number of calls I can make available for my customers in this product.
mm,
So I can say
okay.
it's 1,000 calls per month. Um, and I can say whether it's a hard limit or a soft limit. So whether it's going to block the access to the end users when they reach the limit, or we have the concept of soft limits, where beyond this limit, there would be a dedicated price per call if they go
Mm.
beyond this specific limit.
Oh, great.
And then we can say that we have a throttling limit of 10 calls per second. And then once we are done, pretty easy business model to set up. I click on continue. And the next step is to create a workflow. In this specific case, as we have only one endpoint from the spell, no need actually to describe the workflow. The workflow is more if you have like a lot of endpoints to have kind of a guide for the end user about how to use the different endpoints to implement it in their own code. So this part I can skip it, click on continue, and then I
Okay.
have the option, I was sharing with you, public or private.
Mm.
So I will select so that we can see it on the portal. Or private is really when you do premium offers or specific offers for partners. I have now a summary of the product I've just created. That's fine. So now I'm good to go and I can release it. So I add the product. It takes a few sec. And now when I go on the portal, go back to my product catalog, I see this new product that has been created.
Nice.
Uh, so this is a product, a restaurant rating, mixing flow from Google and Yelp. And when I go on this specific product, so as if I would be an end user actually using this geolocation service portal, I can look at the products, look at the endpoints available. I have already a sense of what is the structure of the content, where I can see that I do not have the latitude and longitude that I've
Mm.
filtered out. And then I can start to try it out. But to try it out, of course, I need to subscribe. As it's a paid product, I need to put a credit card name. So
So
uh,
how is managed all the pricing part and the payments part? Are you using a specific payment system or something like that?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely. We are using Stripe, which
Okay.
is directly integrated in Blobr, and Blobr users have a managed account by Blobr in Stripe, so it brings another level of security, and then they can easily monetize their API. Just showing what I have done, they just need to have a small setup with Stripe that takes a few minutes where we ask a few information that are required by Stripe, and then they are good to go.
Okay, great. Great. And
So
so
usually,
sorry,
yeah,
if you are selected between US dollar or euro, it will be Stripe automatically. We will do the conversion, right?
uh, yeah, that will be if so. If, for instance, you are in euros from your bank account, so your company bank account, and then you want to offer products in euros or dollars, it's the conversion from Stripe that would apply. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Okay, great.
Um, so I need to fill in all this information. Okay, this is not my bank account, my credit card. I'm putting a fake one, right? Right. That's the test credit card from Stripe. Then I can do the checkout. So here I'm on the test account. That's why I'm using a Fred credit card.
Mm.
Otherwise, I would need to pay for the to be able to access it for the purpose of the table. So now I have a payment successful. Um, I check out success. So actually now I can really try out the API. So maybe can you give me an address, Mathieu, like I could use
Yeah,
to
sure.
this.
I will copy paste the address I have used up inside, so you can use this
Okay.
one.
Okay. So I can try it out, and then you
Great.
see automatically I'm making the calls to your API, and it
Awesome.
seems that Braise Café, Chez Janou, and all those restaurants close to your place. And all of them, we can see that information about latitude, longitude has been filtered out.
Mm, mm,
So
mm.
it's exactly what we wanted. So it really represents as well the structure of the response body. And as an end user, so I can make the calls, I can review my code snippets, automatically generated as well by Blobr. When I start to make those calls, I can review my request history. So if I go to the request history here as well, I can see all the calls that I've made. I can even replay them to tweak them if I have not done the right call and understand how they would work. And then as well, in terms of subscription, I can see where I am in my consumption
Mm.
with information about where you stand compared to what you have subscribed. And all of this helps you to understand where you are with your consumption. You receive alert emails at specific percentage of your consumption to
Mm.
let you know that you change a product and so on. So it's really helping to ease the relationship with the end user or the end consumer of the API.
Okay, great. And if we see, so if you go back to my screen and if I'm looking for some details about our spell, we can see also on our side that one request has been done. The execution time is almost 2 seconds, and I see all the details with each endpoint called. So we will have a very broad information between your side and linked to your own consumption, and for the technical parts and you, the owner of the spell, you have some technical information if everything went fine, and we can we can see, if, for example, if there are an error or something else, or something like that. You will see all the detail. And one question: what happens if someone call our API and, for example, there is an error on a spell, so it will return a 500 HTTP error code. So how Blobr manage it?
Okay, yeah, thanks for the question. So actually what happens is definitely that if there is a 500 error status code, so what would happen is definitely that we are going to display the status code from the API. So
Okay.
Blobr is just passing the status codes to the end user, and it's just in the case that someone has not the credentials to access a specific API products that we create additional status codes to let those people know that something is not working with the API. Otherwise, it's really transparent. We just pass by all the information from the API.
Okay, okay, great. So indeed, I see from Seawolf a comment where it says it's a good complementary project between Meta API and Blobber, and that's why we are making the chat for you guys, because we think with Alexandre that there is a good fit, and the output of Meta API can be very easily used as an input to Blobber. So that's uh, that's how we are doing. So thanks for the comment. Uh, okay, perfect. Anything to add on your side, Alexandre? I think we done all the workflow, and you you will be able to see how you can use Meta API and use Blobber.
Mhm. No, I think on my side that's pretty it. Maybe to share as well, what I've not shared is that definitely from the interface, from what we have done, as we have done the pricing and the user has paid for the product,
Mm,
we generate as well the invoice. So they have all the invoices at one single place. So that's really cool if they want to browse the different invoices based on what they have consumed from the API.
mm,
That's really cool. And as well, the same thing that you have from more on the technical side that you are sharing right now, it's something that you can find as well on Blobr with as well the revenue that you generate in front. So that's cool to have like a check between what you have in Meta API and what you have in on Blobr, and as well what you generate from your integrations. And I think from what we have shared from this session, we can do it. We have done it with restaurant reviews, but you can do it actually with a lot of different stuff, right?
yes.
So yeah, I don't know if you have other ideas of what could be cool to share and monetize.
Oh yes, there are a lot of to do. For example, if you want to, I know that some of our clients are using Meta API for example, for doing some automation to synchronize data between, for example, a CRM and ERP. So between tools like I don't know, HubSpot or Salesforce, with some private APIs, with some you know. Prediction for an ERP. So yes, Salesforce. So they are already doing this automation. So it's in private. You don't need, for example, to monetize it. But if you are done something very advanced, you can sell your automation to other company which want to create this kind of data synchronization. So if you are inside inside this business, that could be a great way to use both of our solution. So Meta API for the technical parts, and Blobr to monetize it just after.
Yeah, really cool. Really, really cool. It might be that we even share and sell this spell to sell it to friends, not to friends, to friends, but to startups who want to where to go for lunch, right? It's always a question. That could be a good one and a cool use case. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, sure. And for example, use the API exposed by Blobr to build, I don't know, maybe a small Slack or Discord chatbot. And that's a nice configuration. You see, we use Meta API for the technical part, then Blobr to expose it and monetize it, and then something like Slack or chatbot in Slack or Discord to expose it inside Discord. So that's a great architecture you can do right now. So yeah, yeah, great. I see some question from Seawolf. Any GPT-3 related monetization opportunity if the API of GPT-3 allow you to to monetize data coming from it, or if you transform it. I know that many APIs force you not to sell all their data directly. That's for example for Google Maps, you can't monetize the Google Maps data directly. You have to transform it. You have to add some added value upon their data because it would just resell data from coming from another one. So if GPT-3 allows this, I don't see any contradiction to um, to do that. And he also asked if we have any special plans any special plan, sorry, for Meta API user. I think you are referring to plan, like a promotion between Meta API and Blobr. We didn't discuss it right now. It was just for you a way, to show how both tools technically could be integrated together. So we will discuss it, Alex, and see if you can create something for the community. I don't know inside the chat if there are any more question. We'll wait some few minutes. So, by the way, thanks a lot, Alex, for your presentation. It was great to see, a demonstration so smooth. We will be able to do all the thing very smoothly and in less than I don't know. It takes something like 20 or 40 minutes, and I have tested on your site. If you have to create an account inside Blobr or inside MetaPI, it will add like 10 minutes or something like that. It's very, you could do it very, 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 very fast.
Yeah, that's yeah. I think that's cool. We had no on each side. We had no like a demo effect where something doesn't work. Joking, but yeah, I think it's super easy for both tools. Like in a few minutes, you can start to create integration or automation, and then start to sell it publicly or share it publicly. I think that's super cool. All the things that you can think about. Yeah,
Mm-mm.
really, really like it.
And if you guys you have already or you plan to create some spell and some usage with Meta API and Blobr, just shout a message when it's built inside the chat and inside the community, and we'll be super excited to reshare it to our community and to see what you will be able to achieve with this kind of tool. That's the point also to add for you some visibility. So great, thank you, Alex. Maybe a last word. Do you have any announcement on your side or something?
We are working a bit more on the analytics side
Okay.
uh, of the portal. So we need to give you some flavors about the conversion rate, for instance, people that visit a product, the people that subscribe, and the people that call the API. So really have like the full conversion journey of the end users to really then be able to send emails, get feedback from the users as well if they like the API and so on. So we are working on that, and it's going to be released in the next weeks. And another thing that we are finishing is definitely the tax part, because you have a lot of tax issues when you are selling stuff online, depending on the location of the service provider and the location of the buyer, right? So we are actually improving that, and we are releasing that in the next 2 weeks. And I think it's super exciting that we get you covered everywhere in the world for all tax purposes when you start to sell APIs.
Great, because it's it's a strong pain, and we know we know it on your side. So great, thanks. And on MetaIP
And
side, yes, we have a lot of things coming on October, so stay tuned. But we have also, and I know that's something as for community. So we are releasing another LTD guys for Meta API. So stay tuned. We will have some more information in the few weeks. So and we will announce it also to the community.
okay, really cool.
So thanks again. Thanks a lot, Alex, for your participation. That was great. I think. I think everyone liked it, and of course, if you need more information, we can reach your website. So blobr.io. That's right.
Yeah,
Perfect.
cool.
On Meta API, it's meta api.io, and see you for next time and another use case.
Thank you. See you around. Thanks a lot for having me, and that was a pleasure.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks a
Thanks a lot, Ed. Bye
lot.
bye.
Bye. See you.
Thanks, everyone.